Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Sahar, and you're watching Rethink with Sahar. Today we have with us George Dubec. You're welcome, George.
Well, hello.
George,
It's
yeah.
great. It's
How are
great
you
to be here.
doing? How are you
Well,
doing?
basically, my standard answer, Sahara, is always good and bad. I like to be in the middle. I don't like to
Hmm.
be sad or happy. I like to just be present.
Balanced,
Present.
present.
Right.
Okay, that's great. That's the uh, that's looking at everything in as a whole,
That's
right?
right.
Not
That's right.
not not concentrating on one part of the thing, only on the one side of the picture, whole picture. That's
Well,
great,
well,
beautiful.
I think the trouble is people are striving to always try to be happy, and I go,
Oh
why?
yes,
I says it's okay not to be happy, right?
yes,
There's nothing
that's
wrong with it.
right.
In fact,
Sometimes,
you know the famous comedian Jerry Seinfeld?
hmm,
He had that TV show for many years,
yes,
Seinfeld.
yes, I know him.
Well, his
I mean,
philosophy on life is that he likes to be complaining and he likes to be unhappy. And he said he's actually being happy, being unhappy.
that's right.
He's more realistic. He says, I look at life in a realistic point of view. And if you want to complain about something, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
And
right.
the only thing is, what I believe is, we should not at least stop ourselves from being what we are, whether we are happy or we are sad or we are not happy. So, what we actually are. That's a great, point of view. That's a that's a beautiful thing to look on at the life as
Actually,
it
the other thing that I learned a long time ago is the real true meaning of motivation. To be motivated, you have to desire something better or be unhappy.
is.
Because if you're happy, you're not as motivated as if you're unhappy.
Exactly.
So you got to
Uh,
feel like something's not right, or I want to fix something, or I want to do better, and you're not satisfied. So you're motivated.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes, we have to be unhappy about something to
That's right.
change it.
You want to fix something. You want to make it
Yes,
better. So, people think motivation is like something like like you can just drum it up. You can't just be motivated again unless something needs to be fixed or corrected or made better. So that's what
exactly.
motivation is all about.
That's beautiful. That's perfect. That's perfect. And George has over 50 years of networking experience, and he's fondly called the ultimate networker.
Yeah,
So,
I've written
what?
books.
He has written books, and his show is several books, not only one book, but several books. And he his reality show is coming up, The Ultimate Networker, and we'll talk about that also. George, first, tell us about how you came into this field, your the beginning of your journey, and how you began. Were you always wanting to be an entrepreneur, or you? How did you come to the side?
Well, actually, again, this was back when I was young.
Hmm.
I was motivated by not being happy doing what I was doing. I was an engineer at General Motors. I started in 1967, way
Great.
back when. That's when the heyday of General Motors, when they made
Hmm.
cars, and Detroit, Michigan was a big deal. They had assembly plants. We didn't have
Hmm.
as many foreign cars in our country. There was hardly any foreign cars back in 1967.
Oh,
And General
wow.
Motors was the king of the hill.
Hmm.
That's everybody bought General Motors cars or Ford
Yes.
or Chrysler. They
Hmm.
call it the big three.
Hmm.
Well, back in those days, I worked 9 to 5 job. I was an engineer, and then I became an executive at General Motors. I worked there 18 years,
Wow.
and I was always
Great.
somewhat unhappy. I always wanted to conquer the world, to be bigger and better, and be great, and make lots of money and be famous, and
Hmm.
that always was like kind of bothering me. Then a friend of mine gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Did you ever read that
Oh,
book?
that's a beautiful book. I haven't, but I have read half of it. I won't lie, I'll be honest. I have read only a part of it a long time back, but it's a beautiful book. Yes.
Yeah, well, it was one of the first, if you want to call it motivational books that I
Yes.
read that was supposed to spurn inside of an individual to become, better, to achieve more and stuff like that. But I learned a life lesson that
Hmm.
that whole philosophy sounds wonderful, but I don't believe it anymore. I
Ah.
don't believe all the motivational speakers and all the guys that, anything you can believe you can achieve and all that, because
Hmm.
what's happening, at least in here in the United States, is we're losing the value of community and teamwork. So
That's
what they
true.
were proposing for so many years is this independent achievement. Like, you want to be the best, you want to be the fastest, you want to be on a box of Wheaties, you want to win the
Exactly.
Super Bowl. Well, the funny thing is, Confucius said the winner is the loser. Did you ever hear that one?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because when you really break it down, like, I was an athlete all my life, played
Hmm.
tennis and racquetball and football and baseball and basketball, and I won a lot of games. But what did I win? And who remembers if you won? And who remembers who
Exactly.
lost?
It's just a moment.
It's just a moment, but it's, in a way, it's wasted energy. What if I would have took all that energy and helped somebody build a house, or I
Oh,
would have
that's what
helped
happened.
somebody build
Yes.
a plant a garden,
Hmm.
because the house would still be there, the garden would still be growing. But winning a
Yeah.
basketball game doesn't
That's
do anything for anybody. It's very
exactly.
egotistical, and I love to study. Do you ever hear of the Amish people?
Yeah.
The Amish people are scattered throughout the United States, mostly up in
Hmm.
Pennsylvania and Ohio. And I
Hmm.
grew up around a lot of Amish people. And
Okay.
the one thing I learned by studying the Amish people, they're very community oriented. Their
Oh, yes.
philosophy is, I call it, they have a we philosophy. In the United States, I grew up with a me philosophy. What's going to make me happy?
Exactly. Hmm.
So what I learned, that, the Amish people have no competition. It
Yeah.
doesn't exist. They don't try to be prettier, bigger, faster, stronger, and they don't try to win anything.
And should I tell you one thing? Even all the games that children play in India, for example, gilli danda, that's like a stick and small part of stick, and they play with it. And there are other games. There is no winner and there is no loser. They just play together and play as a whole group. One is chosen to uh, be at the, I won't say at the front, but lead the game, and then slowly they take turns and they play together. So there's no winner, no loser.
Yeah, I mean, but even games are just time killers.
Exactly.
It's
They're
just
for kids.
something to put in time. But then I always learned, well, not I always learned, but I've learned over the years. Every time I decide to do something, I now decide what is something better to do than what I'm going to do or I want to do.
Wow.
Is there something I can
Mm.
do better or more productive or be more helpful? Instead of waking up in the morning and saying, well, what am I going to do today that makes me happy?
Mm.
And one of the new phrases I like to tell people is, say, why don't you wake up in the morning and think of just one thing that you can help somebody else that day? Your wife,
Oh, yes.
your husband, your kids, your somebody at school. If you wake up and think about, just do one good deed today that you're going to focus on,
Yeah,
your whole philosophy in the world would probably change for the better.
exactly. And the world will change for the better, certainly. Yes.
But it doesn't seem to be that way. Everybody is just, I don't know, selfish, greedy, whatever you want to call it. Especially in the United States, they call it American greed.
Yeah.
And in America, it's all about entertainment and money.
Hmm.
Nobody cares about
Exactly.
anything else.
So
Making
the
lots of money,
values, yeah,
okay, not providing a good service or making a good product. It's about how much money can I make? What's the least amount of things? They call it efficiency. What's the least
exactly.
amount of work and effort that I could put into it and make the most money?
Exactly. That's efficiency. And that's being idealized these days.
Oh, That's the whole culture.
That's the whole
If
culture.
you look
Yes,
on social media, all they talk about is how we can help you make more money with your business.
exactly.
Nobody on social media
More
has a Zoom
money.
call or a webinar saying, listen, come to our webinar or our Zoom call and we'll talk to you about making the best product that you can possibly make, or providing the best service. Customer service in America is awful.
It
It's the
is.
worst. You can't, like, did you ever notice if you go to somebody's website, you can't find a phone number?
Oh,
There's
it's so
nobody to call.
difficult. Yes,
Like, it's crazy.
it's crazy. It's the way we are heading towards, like the way you said, the me philosophy. And we are isolating ourselves. The system has isolated individuals, and they shells have been created, and they're trapped in those shells. And that has been idealized so much that they feel like, okay, this is the ultimate reality. But then we tend to forget that we are social beings. We need to interact with each other. And if we can win together. Singularly, we lose everything.
That's part of what I developed, this networking philosophy. I help
Yes.
people network in business, and
Hmm.
I always tell people the most powerful thing you can do in business, if you make the best product and provide the best service, you work your referrals. You talk to your customers, ask them if they're happy, ask them if they like your product, ask them if you did good service, and then say, can you refer me to other people? If you
Yes,
do that, you don't have to spend as much time advertising, marketing, just constantly get referrals from your present customers.
that's
And very
true.
few people do that. They're
Yes.
constantly trying to get new customers. They keep wanting to get new customers all the time. But what about the old customers?
What about the old customers? They're forgotten.
Yeah,
And then
pretty
they
much.
are the best advertisers. They have experienced your services and they can tell others from their first-hand experience.
And one of the reasons people have a hard time getting referrals is they're afraid to call their old customers, because the old customers might start complaining
Yes.
and might be
Yes.
unhappy. So they don't call them. They go,
Hmm.
okay, they bought our product and, like, I don't care. They're done with it. I'll go get another customer.
Hmm.
It's like, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
Well,
And
again, let's go back to the Amish people. The Amish
yeah.
people are some of the best carpenters and woodworkers in the United States. They, like, my daughter, who built a
Hmm.
home years ago, her first home, they hired Amish carpenters.
Oh, wow.
They do a phenomenal job. They do what they're paid for plus more. And that should be the philosophy of every businessman. I'm going to do what you paid me for, but I'm going to give you more. I'm going to do more. I'm
Hmm.
going to make you
Yes.
so happy that you're going to stand on a rooftop and and give a
Shout out.
testimonial for my
Yeah.
services.
Yeah. That's right.
So
That's right.
that's the way I look at it. But it's I don't know. I don't know if
Entertainment.
how we're going to be able to turn this around. It's just crazy.
Yes, we definitely are at a point where we find it difficult even to look back. The thing is that we do need to go to that uh, community psyche that we, the way you put it, and we do need to go there. And networking, you said, is one of, like, talking to customers. And so, isn't it that because we are living alone, we are so engrossed in our own beings that we find it difficult to relate to other people and even ask them for help. We do not want to ask them for help, so we don't ask our previous customers for a referral or for a recommendation. So, do you think that me philosophy is at the back of it?
Well, the problem is that not like you hit it on the head. We're becoming very isolated, independent, and especially the other thing I teach is networking within your own family, because
Hmm.
people are separated and located all over the place. And
Exactly.
I try to tell people you got to do everything you possibly can to network in your own family to make sure you keep it tight and together. Like, for example, I live in Boca Raton, Florida. My youngest
Mm-hmm.
daughter lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, which isn't too far away.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest
Mm-hmm.
daughter lives in Mentor, Ohio, and my
Wow.
son lives in Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I mean, when I grew up, there was five brother. I had four brothers and sisters, and
Mm-hmm.
in the small town in Warren, Youngstown, Ohio, where I lived, there had to be 100 relatives, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins.
The whole city was your own.
Yeah, it was like we would have a picnic in the summertime. There'd be 100 people would come to the family picnic. Now, on the 4th of July, I went up to Ohio to visit some of my family. And on the 4th of July, we had 14 people, 14 family
Wow.
members. So you look back in, let's call it the 60s, 1960s, I had 100 family members. And now
Beautiful.
2025, I'm down to 14. And in maybe 5 years, I'll be down to three or four or five that'll get
Yes.
together.
And you know what? It's like we have lost our roots, our connections with not only with others. It's in a way, as you mentioned, that people are scared to talk to others, even for a referral to their previous customers. Just as an example, so we are not able to reach out to others because we are not connected with our own self. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah. It's so you have to start to do some strategy. Like for example, every other Sunday night at 8 o'clock, I have a
Mm-hmm.
family Zoom call. So
Wow.
we all get together
Mm-hmm.
on a Zoom call, as many people as available on Sunday night, because most people are home Sunday night,
Yes.
and we do a family Zoom call just to, hey, what are
Beautiful.
you doing? What are you up to? Because people tend not to make phone calls anymore, even. It's
Exactly.
texting. So at least on a Zoom call, you can see their face. You can see what they did, what they're up to, kind of like the old dinner table, right? In
That's
the old
right.
days at 5 o'clock, the families would all, or 6 o'clock or whatever, would get together and
Exactly.
have dinner every night.
That was such a beautiful tradition.
Right. And again, Americans with fast food, delivery service, it's like nobody cooks, or they go to restaurants, or they pick up fast food and they come home and they say, I already ate. I already stopped at
Already.
McDonald's. I already stopped at Burger
Exactly.
King. I don't. We're not going to have dinner tonight. So it's like,
That's right. That's the new culture, and this is not something a direction where we should be heading. It's okay, business is good. This is helping the businesses, but then business people in themselves, when looked at in their personalities, they are also human beings. It's affecting them too.
yeah. In fact, there was a song out. I think it was in the '70s. Do you remember a song called "Cats in the Cradle"?
Yeah.
It was a folk song. It was about
Hmm.
father and son, and
Hmm.
how the father was always gone and he wasn't around. And
Hmm.
then when the son grew up, the father was not as active and started calling the son, and the son was always busy. And the
Yes.
son said, yeah, dad, the next time I'm around, I'll stop by. So it's kind of like, it's just,
Coming
it's
full
coming around
cycle.
full circle. It's like, okay, the dad wasn't around. Now the son's not around for the dad.
Yes.
So again, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know what's going to turn things around. It's like turning the Titanic.
Yeah. What I myself feel like is if we are not able to develop that sense of solidarity with other humans from within, we will not be able to relate to others and end this cycle of individuality or individualism. And we need to relate to others. We need to develop. What I feel like is like I'll tell you a simple example from my experience. Like whenever I meditate, I feel like my brain is expanding. Not that actually this thing is expanding, but my consciousness is expanding. And when I open my eyes after that, anyone I see, I feel like it's a part of me. He or she is a part of me. So that's one thing. And this is the experience of not only me, but everyone who has been meditating, right? So this is one form of meditation, that you sit and with your eyes closed and everything. But meditation is basically being in the present moment, like we just said, that we have to be present, right? So if we are able to be in the present, to be focused on our breath at least, because breathing is something that's new every moment and it's continuous. So we may be able to develop that connection with our own self and ultimately with others.
Well, there's two ways to look at life. I call it the micro philosophy and the macro.
Hmm.
Most people are living in the micro, in the moment, like
Yes.
what's present, what's happening. Uh, but if you start looking at the macro, what is going to happen in 5 years? What's going to happen in 10 years? For example, most young people today don't want to have kids.
Yes.
I don't understand it. You know what my philosophy is when I teach young people, and from life experience, I tell them, whatever you got to do, you got to have at least 3 kids, minimum 3.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the reason for 3 is in case something happens to one or two of them, maybe an accident, a health problem, or maybe they wind up in a criminal type situation or drugs.
Exactly.
Anyway, so if you have 3, I figure you might have a chance to get one good one.
Exactly.
Now, I got 3 kids, and luckily I got 3 good ones,
That's great.
but it doesn't always happen. But anyway, but not only is it very difficult today to raise kids, it's expensive because people complain about they got to spend too much money, and it takes away from your lifestyle. Everybody has a lifestyle today. Oh,
Hmm.
my kids are interrupting my yoga class, or I can't
Hmm.
go work out today, or I can't take this trip
Exactly.
because I got to take care of my kids. So the problem is they're a burden when you're younger, but when you're 60, 70 years old, they now become a blessing.
They become a blessing. Yes.
But when you're young, you don't understand that.
You don't understand that.
So these young girls today, like my daughter's 32, she just had a baby. She has a 3 year
Uh-huh.
old,
Wow.
and one of her girlfriends has 2 kids and is married. But out of 10 girls, she graduated high school. Only her
Hmm.
and her girlfriend are married and has kids.
Wow.
So that's 8 other young girls are still single and they don't have any
Hmm.
kids. And I'm going,
Wow.
that's crazy. When I
Or
graduated
being.
from high school, listen, I graduated high school in 1964. By the
Hmm.
time most of the kids in my high school graduated, by the time they were 25, the majority were married and already had 1 or 2 kids.
Yes.
By
That was
25.
the norm. Yeah. That's right.
So again, how do you turn that? How do you go back to that? I don't know. I don't know what's I don't know what's going to
I
happen.
don't know either. I just can uh, say that we do need to. If we are talking about me, then this me has to be a part of the bigger whole. Not only me trapped in this body and this brain and mind. So it's me as a human being, me as a social being. If we are able to get ourselves to that thing, I think things can be resolved a little bit.
Well, there's a couple of reasons that I've been finding out that young girls don't want to have kids. Number one, talk about the expense of having kids. Talk about
Hmm.
it affects your lifestyle.
Hmm.
Another one that's really big is self-imaging.
Yes.
Women don't want to ruin their bodies. They want to look like these Playboy bunnies or centerfolds all the time. And then the other one is the way the world is going. A lot of young girls today say they don't want to bring kids into this world.
Exactly.
That's
They
that's a
don't.
horrible thought.
Yes, the thought is that some kids, for example, they get up and ask their parents, "Why did you bring us into this world?" And so similarly, they don't want to bring anyone else into the world.
It's I know it's crazy. I don't know. It's unbelievable with all the abilities and opportunities that we have. Why the culture is degrading, I have no idea. I thought when I was younger, everything was going to get better and better. And it's
Mm.
not with all this so-called progress. Well, see, the other thing is, Sahar, I don't know if you studied the Native American Indians that used to live out in the West, and well, they
Mm-hmm.
lived all over the country, but
Yeah.
most of the Indian tribes had what they called a group of elders, which
Yes.
were the older people. And anytime
Mm-hmm.
they would introduce something into the tribe, the elders would sit around and decide, how is this going to affect us 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Is this a good thing?
Yeah.
Now think about it. All this technology and progress we're talking about, we just introduce it, and it just nobody thinks about, well, is this something we should have? Is this good? Is this going to be
Yeah.
beneficial? We just start to do it, use it. The internet,
Yes.
cell phones, social
And
media,
the latest in the town,
internet.
AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
AI, and now they're trying to make cars that drive themselves. Like, do we need that? Do we need
Do
a
we?
car that drives itself? No. But yet
I
we
met
put,
uh I met an Uber driver. He was he was a physician, and he told me I am driving only because I need to connect with people.
wow, I never
Yeah.
heard that one.
Yes. And so at least we have a human moment when we are driving with a human being, another human being,
Wow,
and
that's
will be robbed of that once there are cars which do not need drivers.
wow, that's a powerful story. I gotta remember that one. That's man, a prominent person needs to drive Uber to meet people. Well, I had it's so sad because a lot of people also are now older and they didn't get married, they didn't have kids, and they're basically, well, one of the big problems we're going to have in this country, it's already happening, is mental health, and number two is loneliness.
Yes,
Those are two big diseases that we're facing that are going to be worse in the next 3 to 5 or even 10 years. It's going to be
exactly.
terrible.
It's gonna
So
be terrible.
again, we're losing community. We're losing the ability to help other people. In fact, we don't want to help other people. And like you said, you have to, in order to get help, you got to ask people for help.
Yes, even the
People are
baby
afraid to
has
even
to
ask.
cry. Yeah, even the baby has to cry if it needs milk.
Well, that's like the other day that we had to take a car. My wife and I had to take a car to the shop to be fixed. And
Mm-hmm.
for some odd reason, we had to have somebody take me to the car to drop the car off at a particular
Mm-hmm.
time because my wife was busy or whatever. And so I started thinking about who would I call to pick me up and take me on a 5 minute ride to drop the car off and bring me home. And I was
Wow.
thinking, I I almost I had nobody that I wanted to bother. It's like, oh my God, if I call these people, I feel like I'm bothering them.
Yes,
That was terrible.
that
I
was
mean, I'm
terrible.
78 years
Yeah,
old and I don't have the feeling like I could pick up the phone and call somebody without bothering them or making them irritated.
that's
In the old
that's
days, you would have a whole neighborhood full of people that you could call and take you somewhere.
anybody would come to help you. Just needed to just make like say call them in a like say the name. Okay, I want you to come to help me, and 10 people will come along with that person. So I mean that is that was another level of. I've seen that in my country. Like I'm from originally from India, so these things happen in the villages even now. So there are still communities which work like that. But on the whole, if you go to the cities, it's the same story as it is here.
Well,
People are not.
there are some communities that are kind of thriving like that, like in north of Orlando, Florida, in Ocala. There's a place called the Villages, and they have
Hmm.
thousands of people 55 and over live there.
Yes,
And the people that live there, they love the place because it's all community. They're all helping each other. They all hang out. But they're older. They don't have kids, but they have
mm,
eliminated the isolation, and they're now with a
yes,
group of like-minded people in the same age range. And
That's
most
beautiful.
people that live there, they love it.
Mm, yeah, and it's beautiful out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nice area, and they have community, they have fun, they have parties, they
Yes.
socialize.
That's
But
the best part.
if you don't live in a place like that, you're isolated pretty much.
Exactly. You're right.
So,
And sir, tell me about your upcoming um, show, The Ultimate Networker,
right,
where and when it
we're
will.
putting a reality show together, teaching people and showing people how to network, like at business events, trade
Mhm.
shows,
Wow.
expos. For example, I went to an event the other night, and the most difficult thing that people have is transferring their contact information. In the old
Yes,
days, everybody used to have business cards. Remember?
exactly.
You say, "Here's my business card." Well, now you go to somebody and they go, "Well, I got a phone, I got a QR code, or I got a tap phone, or I have a text message I'm going to send you with," and I'm going, it's like confusing. And like
Yes.
some people, they don't want to, the tap phone thing where they transfer your, and some people don't want to do that. I don't want to be tapping my
Yeah.
phone on somebody else's phone. And then somebody sends me their QR code and I go home and the QR code doesn't come up. In the old days, it used to be simple. I just have
Card.
a business card.
Business cards. Yeah.
But technology has not done us a favor. It's made things more complicated and worse
Yes. And more confusing.
and more confusing. Right. Now, you know what I do, Sahar, when I go to an event, and
Hmm.
nobody does this. I actually take a box with me. It's a transparent box. In fact, I'll show you real quick.
Okay.
When I go to
Oh,
and see this box,
yeah. Yeah. Right.
I take this box like I went to a networking event, and inside the box, when I
Hmm.
meet somebody,
Hmm.
I have
Beautiful.
an old-fashioned clipboard. And what I do is I make the person write their name, phone number, and email address.
Wow.
So when I come home, all the important people that I met
They are
are
on
on
there.
my clipboard. So I sit down, and those are the people that I'm going to either email or text or whatever. And
Interesting.
nobody else does this. Nobody.
Yes, it's something that you can never lose. I mean, this paper, this board, it cannot go wrong anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, while I'm meeting that person, they see me writing the information down. So what does that mean in their head? This guy's serious about
Yes,
communicating and following up, right?
exactly.
Because if I get a business card or a QR code, I go home. Does he think I'm ever going to call him? I don't know. Or am I going to call? We just exchange QR codes or whatever. So,
Hmm.
it's important to make those connections with people, that you're serious, that you like them, that you want to talk to them, you want to follow up with them.
That's very
And,
important.
and so these are important things that you have to train yourself how to do this.
Josh,
And I'm real big on training. In other words, to
wow.
become an ultimate networker, you got to train yourself how to become an ultimate
Is
networker.
there a web page where our audience, if they want to connect with you, they can connect with you?
Yeah, I have. Well, they can go to my website. My website is theultimatenetworker.com. It's all one word, THE ultimatenetworker.com. And they can sign up and get, actually, if they sign up on my website, I'll send them a PDF copy of my book, Ultimate Networking.
Beautiful.
And also,
So
I'll
it's
send you a
the,
copy. I'll send you a copy.
thank you. Thank you. I will sign up there. All
And
right.
also, I have a test, a questionnaire in the book,
Uh-huh.
and you can rate yourself as a networker. Like, say, for example, right now, how would you rate yourself as a business networker?
Zero. I don't have a business.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know, networking for social even, or, oh, by the way, I teach social networking, how to find a mate
Yes.
or a date by using your social network. And
Hmm.
here it is real quick. You make a list of everything you want in the opposite sex. and you give it to your friends, neighbors, family, whoever, and say, look, here's my list. If you meet somebody that fits this description, I want you to connect us.
Exactly.
And you know, I
How
met my
how
I
easy
listen,
things would be.
hey
Yeah,
Sahar, I met my wife that way back in 1979. I made a list, I gave it to my 10 best male friends, and my best friend connected me with my now wife.
beautiful. Beautiful. Very good. Thank you so much, George, for being here today and telling us so many good things, so many good ideas you gave us, and the books that you have given us. Thank you so much.
Okay,
And
it was great to be here.
you're welcome. Thank you. And thank you, guys. See you next week at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Thank you so much and have a great day.